Last Tuesday afternoon, I was rearranging inventory at work when my brother Theodore sent me a text. Family gathering at Red Lobster on Hamilton Street, 7 p.m. sharp. Don't show up late, failure. The failure jab was pure Theodore. He'd been tossing that insult at me since we were kids, back when he aced every class, and I barely scraped by in math. The message carried that sharp tone he used when he wanted to flex his authority, a reminder that he was the one with the fancy degree and city office while I earned $16 an hour with a name tag pinned to my shirt. I almost skipped it. My first urge was to fire back a snarky reply, maybe ask if this was another lecture about my poor life decisions. But something about this summons felt off. Family meetings at restaurants usually meant bad news delivered where I couldn't react loudly. So I clocked out at 6:30, drove my old, rattling Toyota across town, and stepped into Red Lobster at 6:55. The scent hit me first, warm butter, those cheesy biscuits they shove on every table, and that odd seafood restaurant smell, not quite fishy but not quite fresh either. My family was already at a corner booth, the kind with tall backs for privacy. They'd clearly been there a while. Empty biscuit basket, drinks half gone, that settled look of people who have been waiting. Mom, Dad, Theodore, and my sister Sylvia, all four of them lined up on one side of the booth, leaving me the opposite bench to sit alone. It was a calculated move, and they knew it. They'd used this formation before when I was younger, ganging up to scold me about bad grades, sketchy friends, or whatever way I'd fallen short that week. Dad didn't even wait for me to sit before launching in. "We're here to talk about your grandfather's estate," he said, like he was kicking off a corporate meeting. The words didn't register at first because no one had told me Grandpa Harold had passed. That's how I found out, sitting in a Red Lobster booth on a Tuesday night while a server hovered, asking if I wanted to hear about the shrimp deal. My grandfather, the one family member who ever treated me like I was worth something, was gone, and I was learning about it in a chain restaurant. I asked when he died. Dad said 3 weeks ago, quietly in his sleep. They'd held a small funeral. I asked why I wasn't told. Mom chimed in, saying I was always so busy with my own life. They didn't want to trouble me. They knew I had work and all. Her voice had that hollow ring, the one she used when she was lying and didn't care if I noticed. Sylvia added that it was a small ceremony, just close family and a few of Grandpa's old buddies. The way she said close family, leaving me out without saying it outright, was sharp and intentional. Sylvia was always good at that kind of quiet venom. Dad cleared his throat and pressed on like my shock was an annoying delay. "Your grandfather left an estate worth about $400,000. We're dividing it 4 ways, $100,000 each." He motioned around the table, himself, Mom, Theodore, Sylvia. He said it like he was explaining basic math to someone too dense to get it. I sat there, processing. 4 ways? I asked the obvious question. "Don't you mean 5 ways?" Theodore laughed, that smug chuckle he'd had since high school, like he was choking on his own ego. "No," he said, stretching the word like I was a kid. 4, me, Sylvia, Mom, Dad." He listed himself first, as always. Sylvia smirked, the same look she'd get when we were teens, and she'd pulled off something sneaky. I can't tell you the full story in short. To watch the full story, click the related link below.